Hey guys, this is What If Deku was Rexplode. So let's start off the series. Let's start it off. Now I've been off my rocker for a little bit. Haven't recorded in a long while, about like 7 days, about like a week now. But I'm gonna be giving you guys a lot more content, a lot more on a regular basis, like at least 3 what ifs to 2 what ifs a week. And I'm gonna be posting my new what if, my I kill what if, right? I'm gonna be posting each new part on the weekends. So part 2 is gonna come next weekend, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. So like on Saturdays, you're going to get a I kill content. So just stay tuned for that. And more of my longer what ifs and longer videos are going to be coming out on the weekends. So during the week, you'll get what ifs, YouTube shorts, and the occasional funny video like types of school fights and videos like that. So let's just dive right into it. Let's start off the story with Deku's lifespan. Like, how would he become Rexplode? How would he get the abilities? How would he become that character? How would he change the fabric of the My Hero Academia world? Let's start it off. So we start off with Deku's childhood. Now, Deku would be raised in a very poor type of setting. His mother being an alcoholic and his father basically not being able to hold a job more than like a week or two. They would have been living in the scums of Japan. The slums. I mean, the worst and just most busted down parts of Japan possible. As Deku would be living off of just stealing from people and getting food from people. As his mom would get angry at him for stealing food, but just taking it anyways and eating it in front of him, as he would just get pissed off over the years. Deku, knowing how he could steal pickpockets and pretty much be able to unlock anything with a little bit of a not hair tie, but a bobby pin and a couple other things. He'll be able to basically unlock anything, pickpocket anybody, and just do a lot of more illusions. As he would have done some magic acts on the street, using illusions to offset people and steal their jewelry and watches and wallets, leaving and going around Japan day in and day out. Deku would be going and doing this, living off of all these people for about a couple years now. Him being about 11 years old as he was still doing this. As Deku would be doing this, as he eventually would have been caught by a pro hero, as he would have stole from Aizawa one day. He would have taken a watch from Aizawa as he would have ran off. As Aizawa would have catched him, Aizawa would have told him to stop as to why is he doing this. As Aizawa would have kind of tried to figure out what's going on. As Deku would just say that, I don't want your help, I don't want your pity, I don't want anything from you. Here, take your wallet back. I didn't know you were a hero. As Aizawa says, you're just a kid. Why are you stealing? Why are you on the street? Why do you look like that? As Deku would have like the same reddish hair that Rexplode has. Him having the reddish, brownish hair, copper type color Rexplode has, or Ruby has. So basically would have that type of hairstyle. Deku would have the same type of, frame as his OG hair though, having a messy bun and having like a messy hairstyle. But him having some scars on his body and even having a little bit of a mark right underneath his chin. As Deku would just be kind of pissed off at Aizawa, and Aizawa would try to convince him to come with him and try to take him to the police station and sort things out. Maybe take him to CPS or something, because he's on the side of the streets with raggedy clothes and basically scaring people to live, as he sees that Deku's very malnourished and he basically is literally skin and bones. As Deku says, I've been fighting my whole life. I've been fighting and stealing and working for everything I have. I don't need your sympathy or anything you have. As Aizawa just tells him that it's okay, as he tries to grab Deku to take him, as he tries to immobilize him, as Deku's being kind of, pretty much let's say aggressive, as Aizawa is trying to grab him, as Deku just throws some junk in Aizawa dodges it narrowly, but Deku literally books it. He floors that bit. I mean, he's jumping over fences. For an 11-year-old kid, Deku became very athletic for his age. I mean, straight up Daredevil levels of athletic ability. As Aizawa was kind of impressed, but Aizawa tries to chase him down, eventually losing his trail. As Deku gets back home and he sees his mom laid out on the floor, passed out, as he sees his dad in the front of the house, or not the house, but in front of the whatever ran down apartment shack they're living in, and he sees that he's talking to some bad men. As basically he looks through the weird window and he sees Deku and points to him as the men, well, nod at his dad and literally tell him to go. As Deku's dad walks into the house and looks at Deku and says, well, kid, you just got me a lot of money. You can get out of here, but just not with you. As Azawa's dad and his mom, I've said this earlier, are very horrible parents. As well, Sasaki would have grabbed Deku by the arm and would have literally started to drag him out of the house and chuck him towards the men in suits, saying that you gave me a pretty good penny for you. They gave me some compensation for getting rid of you. As Deku says, what do you saying get rid of me? As he says, well, I don't need you anymore, and you cause too much money and trouble than you are. As Deku says, money and trouble? You haven't spent a dime on me since I was a baby, since I could walk and talk. You've never even taken care of me. You're a scumbag. Mom's an alcoholic freak. I hate you. As he starts to cuss out his dad again and again and again, but his dad is smacking him, saying, shut up and learn your manners. I'm still your dad after all. But they're your new parents, though. I don't need to worry about you anymore. As he walks away, Azuku yells at him, saying, you never worried about me. You only worried about yourself and only worried about your addiction. You crackhead meth. And he would start to just, rip his dad apart. Just starting to cuss him out again and again and again. As eventually he would have been dragged away by the men in suits, as Deku would have woken up a few hours later in a hospital room. Not hospital room, but some sort of white room in a bed. As Deku had been tied down. As a woman would walk into the room, her saying that her name is Dr. So-and-so. As she would have gone on about how your father sold you to us organization. Well, your father told us you were quirkless, so he honestly lost all faith in you to become a hero or any type of civilian or working citizen. As without a quirk, you're the bottom tier barrel of human beings. But without a quirk, you fit right into our organization. Well, we take quirkless humans or people that are just not the best quirk users, and we make them better, make them stronger, we make them super. As Deku's confused, as they tell him that he's a part of a new program, he's going to be trained, he's going to be raised, and he's going to be taken care of, a nice place to sleep at, food on a normal basis. He doesn't have to run or steal from people anymore, but he does have to fight for what he needs to have. As the doctor goes on about how he's going to be going through tests, training, and conditioning for the experiments they're going to be doing on him. As Deku's confused, and the woman puts in simple terms for 11-year-old to realize that we're going to make you better. We're going to make you a quirk user or similar to that. As Deku is interested in saying, okay, I guess I have no choice, but when do we start? As we get switched a couple years later, as Deku is about 15, 16 years old around this time, as Deku was literally just running in a simulation and taking down bad guys and throwing shards of metal, making it explode, and starting to basically kick these goons down to the ground like nothing. As eventually the simulation ends and the guys that are playing the goons get back up, having bruises all over their body, walking away. As Deku looks back and basically looks towards the doctor, as the doctor for the last few years have been kind of a mother figure for Izuku, but being kind of a disciplinary as well. As one of Deku's commanding officers or one of his trainers, his name being Bishop, as he would have been kind of a big buffy guy like All Might, but him having some sort of small strength enhancing quirk, but also having the ability to enhance his reaction time. So he basically has the reaction speed of Captain America with the strength of like 2 times above the peak strength of a human being, of a normal human being that's like at least strong enough to lift at least like 300 pounds with adrenaline rush. or something like that. So he can lift around like 400, 500 pounds, like with ease, because he has some sort of a small scale superhuman strength. As he basically would have been training Deku over the few couple years, and also would have been one of the other trainings, Deku having somebody that has some sort of kinetic energy quirk similar to him, but him not really having a quirk. As we would go more into detail what they did to Deku over the years. As Deku would walk into his room, closing the door after the training, as he would have looked at his wrist, as he would have been washing his hands, as he would have seen that it would be scars on his wrist, and basically seen that his hands were, to him, felt stronger, felt better. As we could switch to a flashback of Deku when he was about 12 years old, being cut open by the scientists and them implanting metal rods and all sorts of technology in his forearms, and also pumping him full of chemicals and toxins and stuff just as that, and also hormones and strengthening pills and all sorts of other things, and also a blue liquid that made his bone structure stronger than the average human. Let's go over Deku's abilities. Now, Deku has the same abilities as Splode, having the ability to pretty much charge up items with kinetic energy, making them explode, as if his like, pretty much hormones levels, or like his glance of fear is like on like a 100%. If Deku's like in complete fear, like Deku's freaking out, or Deku's incredibly mad or something along those lines, his explosions are heightened to like tenfold, and basically they can blow through human beings like ease, and basically blow up people like they're nothing. And even so far, depending on how big the item is and how hard and how long he charges it, the bigger the explosion. So say for instance Deku tries to charge up a car. It's a lot of moving parts, but he can charge up the main, pretty much silhouette, like the casing of the car. If he uses about like 30 minutes to charge up an entire car with kinetic energy, he could possibly blow it up to at least like 15, 17 loads of dynamite level explosion. Like he can make a whole city block maybe blow up if he has his hold, or gets his hands on the hold of like a containment compartment ship, or like, I can't remember what it's called, but one of those containment ships. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put a picture up, but it's one of those. As Deku would basically know his abilities so far over the years. As Deku would also have increased human agility, plus the already impressive agility he had as a kid, and over the years and being trained as well to peak physical strength for a human being. Deku being very much toned and basically having a very more perfected athletic Daredevil-like physique, as he would have had, it's kind of a Nightwing Robin type of physique, having like very lean but very muscular in terms of the muscles he needs to flip around, kick, and do a bunch of more acrobatic skills, and also being able to kick and punch people with relative to good force. Deku would also have superhuman speed and strength on top of his already good superhuman agility, and also good agility as it is. As Deku would have the ability to basically, at his peak strength, punch a person's whole jaw clean off if he was incredibly if he was at his peak strength. He could possibly rip a human being into two pieces if he really wanted to, if he exerts himself to the fullest. So Deku could possibly rip a human person into oblivion if he goes full peak. Deku being strong enough to slightly pick up a small truck or a small car, enough for him, not enough, I wouldn't say he's that strong, but I would say he's around the same strength as, let's say, Batman. Batman isn't superhuman, but he's on the verge of that, because man can push the limits of what is human and what is superhuman. They are a little bit too lenient on what Batman cannot and can do. I mean, bro fell out of space in a freaking his regular bat suit and landed without anything. He landed without a single broken bone. This dude cannot be human. No, I refuse to believe they making this guy just human, because ain't no normal human, even with the training Batman goes to, is surviving that big and that hard of a fall from freaking outer space. Ain't no amount of suit that could save you from that type of collision. Like, what in the heck? I refuse to believe that man is just a man. I refuse to believe that. Nah. Make no sense. But besides that, you see that Deku over the years trains and perfects his craft, and also is around the same fighting style and experience as Daredevil or Nightwing, I guess, as he would have been able to handle his own in fights, hand-to-hand combat, and basically be able to best somebody like Aizawa in a hand-to-hand fight without any type of tools or anything like that. As just a pure fist, just straight up hands, just pure hands against Aizawa. He could beat him if he really wanted to, but he would probably have to do dirty tricks like kick Aizawa in the kneecaps or poke his eyes out or something like that. But yeah, so what would happen is, well, this would be the turning point in Deku's years that would change what he would be associated with his program. As Deku would be given his first mission, as Deku would be given a black suit, as he would have gotten ready. As Deku would have put on the black suit, saying it's pretty menacing, as the doctor would have said, yeah, it's very menacing, but I'll get the job done. We need you to go into a secret organization and find this woman. As he gives him a picture, gives him a picture of this woman, saying that I need you to send her a message. As Deku is on board, as Deku runs over, as Deku over the few years have been told by the organization that they're here to help people. They're here to make people stronger and to help the government better themselves in every possible way. As it would have been all bullshit lies, but we're gonna get into that later on, like right now. So what would happen is Deku would have started the mission. Deku being dropped at the drop point, as Deku would have ran up into the big mansion, or I guess estate that this woman was living at. As Deku would have rushed up into the estate, as he would have opened up the door, as he would have started to sneak in there, as he would have started to creep up into the room, as he would have seen the woman, as she would have been an older woman, and seeing windows and pictures against her house and her room, seeing her husband next to her, as he would have seen she had a child and a daughter. As he would have looked closer, as he would have looked at the back of the letter or the picture, and in the dark, a new writing would have come out of nowhere saying to kill her. Zuko is shocked by this revelation and is confused on what they're trying to make him do, as they tell him to kill her now. As Deku is confused, saying, wait, this isn't what I was... What? As the doctor would have gone into his earcom saying that, what do you think we trained you here? What do you think we trained you for so long? Why do you think we gave you the ability to blow up somebody's head if you wanted to? Why do you think we trained you to dissipate somebody, to disable somebody, to take somebody's legs or make somebody's brain function unrecognizable? Basically, they would have taught Deku a lot of key points and a lot of chi movements to basically make people, basically knowing how to... Basically, Deku would be told and studied the ins and out of the human body. Deku knowing all the weak points on a human body, being able to hit key points, and also being able to slightly, temporarily, or permanently paralyze somebody from the waist down. As Deku, or also he also knows a technique to make somebody go into a full-on seizure with his own one punch. As Deku is confused by this, saying, "Wait, no, I can't do that. I'm not a killer." As the doctor would have said, "Do it now, or your family is dead." As Zuko is confused, saying, "My family gave me up. What are you talking about?" As Zuko is told that he has a brother. After his parents would have given him up, his mother would have gotten rehab after the money they would have given them, as his mother would have gotten pregnant with his brother. As Deku would be saying that Deku had been told that his brother is on the line. The brother he never met, but Deku has an obligation. He knows his parents are horrible people, but his brother is an innocent child. Someone he hasn't known, but he knows that he is blood. He's someone that hasn't done him wrong, but he's someone that is his blood. He is his brother. As he's told that his 4-year-old brother his 5-something-year-old brother is going to be shot down in cold blood if you don't do this. As Deku was confused and conflicted, does he let his brother, a child he never met, but still a child, die over something he doesn't want to do, something he will change him forever, but something he has to do to save somebody's life, to save a child's life? He has to take someone else's. As Deku bites up and grabs a pill and charges it up with kinetic energy and makes a woman swallow it, as a woman's still asleep, heavy sleeper, as Deku sneaks out the room as fast as possible, as the pill slowly goes through her throat and blows her lungs open, making her basically choke on her own spit and her own ribcage starting to just collapse on itself. As the husband would have heard, as Deku would have ran out the estate hearing screams and his husband, or the woman's husband, being in pure disarray, as Deku would have just sniffed it up. The last year, Deku be told to murder people, kill people, take them down, back to back to back. It even go as far as to be told not to kill people, but to paralyze them for permanent use, since they were some sort of enemies of the organization, but them telling Deku they were enemies of the state, the government. But all that would have changed when Deku did one assignment, one mission that would change his life forever, one mission that would give him a purpose, one mission that would change the direction of his life. As Deku would have walked into the room, or not walked into the room, but would have walked into the building, as he would have been given the mission to kill a pro hero that's been looking into the organization for years and is too close now. As Deku walks into the apartment complex, or the room, as he sneaks up in there, as he is basically ambushed by Aizawa in time. As Deku gets pushed into a nearby countertop, as he crushes through it, as Deku gets back up and throws a baton built up with kinetic energy towards Aizawa. Aizawa dodges it, throwing his scarf right at Deku, throwing Deku down on the ground, as Deku grabs the scarf and tries to charge it up with kinetic energy, but Aizawa taking it off before it can blow up, as Aizawa grabs a bottle and chucks it over Deku's head, as Deku gets knocked upside the forehead with this, as Deku's metal helmet helps him mainly take this blowing. Plus, Deku's already super durable. His durability is like very, very strong. It's not superhuman, like he can't take freaking bullets, but he can heal fast enough for him to take a bullet and get back up with relative normal medical help. So if Deku was shot in the head, he would survive. If it wasn't like a full-on center right between the eyes shot, like it was like half of his brain or something like that. So what happened as well, Deku would have started to fight against Aizawa. Aizawa would have started to box up Deku. Deku would have no real experience with pro heroes or somebody that had similar to acrobatic skill as him. As Deku would start to flip and basically do but basically do multiple somersault backflips. Backflips. Damn, I can't say backflips. What the heck is wrong with me, man? Damn. Backflips around the room, throwing vases, glass bottles, and all sorts of things charged up with kinetic energy towards Aizawa. Aizawa started to dodge all of these, eventually trying to use his quirk dampening abilities on Deku, but them not working, as he would have been confused on what the heck is wrong with this kid. What's going on with him? The heck, does he have quirk or not? As he would have started to fight more and more, but eventually Aizawa would have gotten the upper hand, knocking Deku against the room into another room, like the neighbors, as he would have grabbed a bat in the room and would have knocked it over Deku's head, knocking him out cold. As after that, we get switched to Deku in the, hospital. As they would have done a background search, majority of the heroes showing up as well, knowing about this kid, him being a big-time assassin in Japan, as he would have been killing and racking up a lot of names. But, they would have had a discussion. Aizawa talking to everybody, saying that this kid, I know him. I've seen him years ago. I think I know what happened to him. They talk about the organization and how they took him in and they made him this way. They made him an assassin. They trained him to do this. as a person with a mind reading quirk would have went into Deku's room, going through Deku's brain, going through his memories, and realizing that Deku was forced to do all of this. Because eventually the organization, they would have found Deku's brother, putting him into some good custody, and also paying more of a shining light on Azuka's parents. Azuka's parents would have been in good custody and good health over the years, them basically changing, as they would have had no right to take, well, Deku's brother away from them, but they would have put them in, well, witness protection, as they would have put them in there, as Deku would be given a ultimatum by the head of UA, as they would have told him that you have the potential to become a great hero, a great person to everybody, but you have to come with us. You have to leave this behind. Deku basically stops right there saying, I'll do anything to get out of this. In the last years, I've been trying to stop myself from going insane, trying to stop myself from even thinking I like this, but I don't. I hate what I've been doing the last year. As Deku just tells the head of UA that I want a second chance. As they give Deku a second chance, they do some rehabilitation with him, some training, and also try to figure out what he has under his belt in training and powers wise, as they do a little bit of a background check on everything about him, every single detail about him, his blood type, everything, his bone structure, everything, his feels, his pretty much, well, biology, everything. As they realize he has some sort of artificial things in his body, and also middle pipes and technology in his forearms or in his arms that allow him to charge up kinetic energy, but also some of those middle parts are in his other parts of his body, like his toes and parts of his skin or parts of his muscle. As well, Deku is told that, well, he's passed the check and they're going to let him into UA. Now they put him into UA, and the first day of UA comes. As Deku walks into class 1A, as he basically sits down, as he's kind of happy. He's back to a normal-ish type of life, but he's always fought for what he had. He's never had to really go through anything like this, but Deku's just trying to stay calm and try not to go into the flashbacks, the nightmares he's had for the past year, hearing those screams and hearing the scream of that husband, the first person he killed, the first person, the loved one of that person. That was his first kill. As Deku would be in pain every night, waking up in cold sweats, dreaming about that day, dreaming about other people he's killed as well, dreaming about the look on people's face when he paralyzed them, the look on people's face when he took their hands off or did sadistic things for his brother. As Deku would eventually be told over the years that maybe if he is good behavior, maybe if he proves himself that he is better than what they trained him to be, he can meet his brother one day. As Deku is driven by that thought alone. Now, as Zawa walks into class, looks at Deku and just looks away. And he tells everybody that today you may have gotten here by your own will, may have gotten here by recommendations, or earned your way through the entry exams, but you haven't passed my exams. I don't care what you come from, you're gonna have to pass this exam, or else you're gonna get expelled. And I tell everybody to get up as Deku gets into his gym uniform after everybody goes into the locker rooms, as Deku's the first one out. As everybody is told to get ready, as they're going to be doing some test. As Deku grabs the ball first, being told by Aizawa, as Deku chucks the ball as hard as possible, getting a pretty good score. As the long jump, Deku gets a pretty good score as well, him being pretty athletic enough to make that. Deku, for the race, him being a pretty good, fast enough person to dodge and evade bullets half of the time. So Deku get pretty quickly, pretty fast speed. And for the grip test strength, Deku getting pretty good. After all that, they would have done the other, spare type of a test like sit-ups, push-ups, and stuff like that. And Deku overall get about 4th to 3rd place. Now after that, everybody would be told to go back home after and made Hannah their syllabus. As Mineta would not be expelled, but him being kind of scared, him thinking he was going to get expelled, because Aizawa would still say that whole thing about being expelled if you don't try your hardest. Now, what happened as well, Deku goes home, and he's met with Aizawa. Aizawa is going to be his legal guardian for now on, and keep an eye on him. As they keep it, they have a sharp eye on Deku. I mean, like, they have their eye on him. Deku sits down, and we get hit with the end of part 1. Now I'm going to leave you guys off here. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.